welcome you guys for this new video on the formation of LPP. Here we have a problem. This problem is for LPP formulation and we'll divide this whole problem into two sections. First we'll formulate it and the same problem we'll solve it by graphical method. So let us start solving this problem. So here we have a problem where the firm manufacturer produces two products A and B, and which we have the profit earned per unit is rupees 3 and 4 respectively. Each product is processed on two machines M1 and M2, and product A requires 1 minute of processing time on M1 and 2 minutes on M2, and whereas the product 2 requires 1 minute on machine M1 and 1 minute on machine 2. And they have a given conditions like machine M is available for not more than 7 hours 30 minutes and machine 2 M2 is available for 10 hours. So during any working day. So we have to formulate it as LPP and solve it. So let us start with the basics first. Here first step is we have to decide how many variables we have. See, after reading this problem I come across there are two products. So A and B are the two products. So my variables will be X1 and X2. So you have to decide the variables, and this variables will be decided on the number of products. So I'll call X1 for product A and X2 for product B. Means I'm going to produce X1 number of product A and X2 number of product B. Fine. Next step is we have to write the objective function. Now what is the objective function? Meaning we have to write what is the total profit earned by selling these two products. So if I read the problem, in this problem they have said it the profit earned per unit are rupees 3 and rupees 4. So that means that if I sell product A of one quantity, I get a profit of rupees 3. So rupees 3 is a profit from product A, and rupees 4 for product B. These are with respect to only one quantity. Now what I've said in the decision variable is that I'm going to manufacture X1 number of A and X2 number of B. So if I sell X1 number of A, what is the profit from A? That is 3X1. So this is the total profit by selling X1 number of product A. Similarly, if I sell B2, that is X2 number of B, my total profit will be 4X2. So altogether the total profit will be what? The sum of the product A and sum of the profit from product B. So in order to do this, I have to add this. So the addition will provide me the total profit earned from product A and B. So that is the profit. So profit is our maximization function. So my objective function will become Zmax. So maximize the profit, and that is equal to what is the total profit by selling A and B of X1 and X2. That is 3X1 is the total profit by selling X1 number of A, and we have to add this. So 4X2 is the number of profit from product B. So this is my objective function. So this ends the formulation part where I have written the objective functions. Now we'll move ahead with writing out the constraints now. So now write down the constraints. So now after writing out the objective function, we'll write the constraint now. And while reading the problem, I come across they have the conditions like the timing as a condition, the timing as a constraint. So we'll read again and we'll write down the constraint in this table. Here I have made a table like on this machines I have taken it, and here I have taken the products and the total availability of the machine. Okay, so now we'll read this problem and we'll fill this table now. Now what they provided in the constraint is each product is processed on two machines, that is M1 and M2 that I have taken here, and product A requires 1 minute of processing time on M1. That is product A is this one. Product A requires 1 minute on machine M1. So machine M1 is here and that required 1 minute. And 2 minutes on machine M2. 2 minutes on machine M2. So 1 minute on machine M1, 2 minutes on machine M2. This is with respect to product A. Now we'll read again. While B requires 1 minute on machine M1 and 1 minute on machine M2. That is both have require 1 minute and 1 minute. Next what they provided is machine M1 is available for not more than 7 hours 30 minutes. So machine M1 is available only for 7 hours 30 minutes. So here machine availability I'm going to write it here. So this is available for 7 hours 30 minutes. The next machine M2 is available for 10 hours. So machine M2 is this, and this is available for 10 hours. So we'll put it into the now equation now. So what I'm going to write it for constraint for machine M1. Machine M1, one product require 1 minute. So X1 number will require 1 X1. Next, product B requires 1 minute for product B, and we have X2 number. So that is 1 X2. Machine M1 available not more than 7 hours 30 minutes. So by adding this, I'll get a total time for producing A and B, and we cannot use more than 7 hours 30 minutes. That means I can use less than or equal to 7 hours 30 minutes. Now we'll write it for machine M2 constraint. Similarly, you have to write it. One product required 2 minutes. So X1 number required 2 X1. And product B require, one product of B require 1 minute. So X2 number of product B require 1 X2. So total time required to produce A and B is the sum of this, and total time we cannot cross 10 hours, so it should be less than or equal to 10 hours. So these are the only two constraints in the problem, and my final answers you can write it like in this format. First you write the objective function, and then after the objective function you write down the constraint subjected to constraint I am writing. So objective function that I have got it is 3x1 plus 4x2, and these are the two constraints which I have written here. That is 1x1 is nothing but x1 plus x2. It is less than or equal to 7 hours 30 minutes is equal to 450 minutes. I am converting everything in the minutes. And then 2x1 plus 1x2 is less than or equal to 600 minutes. So this ends the first section, that is the formulation. Now we'll solve this problem by graphical method. So graphical method can be used only when we have two variables. So in this problem we have two variables, that is x1 and x2, and we can solve this problem by graphical method. So in the graphical method, the first step is take the first constraint and put it an equation. That is, I'll take the first constraint here, that is x1 plus x2. Here we have less than or equal to sign. So what I'll do is I'll make it as equal to 450. And I'll call this as equation number 1. And I'll take the second constraint here, that is 2x1 plus x2. Here we have got a less than or equal to sign, so I'll make it as an equation that is equal to 600. And this I called as equation number 2. Now I'll go ahead with the first equation. So in the first equation you put x1 is equal to 0 now. When I put x1 is equal to 0, I'll get x2 as 450. Similarly, if I put x2 is equal to 0 now, I'll get x1 is equal to 450. So for x1 plus x2 that is equal to 450, I got my coordinates x1 and x2 as 450, 450. Next, I'll go ahead with the equation number 2 now. So in equation number 2, I'll put first x1 is equal to 0 now. When I put x1 is equal to 0 in this equation, so 2 into 0 is 0 now. So I'll get x2 is equal to 600. Next, I'll put x2 is equal to 0 now in this equation number 2. When I put x2 is equal to 0 now, I'll get x1 is equal to 300. So therefore, 2x1 plus x2 is equal to 600. For this equation, I got x1 and x2 coordinates as 300 and 600. Now we'll plot this values onto the graph. So we'll solve it now by graph. Okay, now we'll plot these points onto the graph. So for that we need a graph sheet, otherwise we can solve it by this method. Here you take along x-axis as x1. So this is x-axis, I have taken x1, and along y-axis I have taken x2. So we'll draw the first constraint by the line. Now for the first constraint I got the coordinates as, x1 as 450 and x2 as 450. Now we'll mark these points and we'll join these 2 points by line. So 450 somewhere here it comes on x7, and here on x2 450 somewhere here. Now we'll join these 2 points by line. So this is that condition, like we have constraint for this at x1 plus x2, And important now we have to see here is, see here in the problem we have x1 plus x2, here we have a less than or equal to. So now we have to use this condition now. So we have a less than or equal to sign. So this is a less than or equal to 450. See, whenever the inequality sign is less than or equal to, that means that whatever the solution will lie, it will lie below this. It is equal to this or it will be below this. So here I'll show it like arrow mark indicating that the solution will lie below this. So this is the first constraint. Now second constraint values are, for second constraint I got x1 as 300 and x2 as 600. So x1 is 300 here and x2 is 600 here. Now we'll join these 2 points by a line. So this is second condition. So I'll be writing the constraint for this. This is 2x1 plus x2. Again I'll look for which condition we have provided here. We have a less than or equal to 600. So I'll write it less than or equal to 600. So whenever the less than equal to sign comes, the meaning is whatever the solution will lie below this. So after drawing these 2 conditions, now we have to find out the feasible solution, feasible reason. And the feasible reason is the reason which can satisfy both the constraint. So for example, if I select this area as a feasible, now what happens if I select this area? What happens is this area is not going to satisfy this constraint, that is this red color line, but it can satisfy this, correct? So this reason will below this, so it can satisfy this, but it is not satisfying this, since it says that the solution will lie below this, and the reason which I have selected is above this. So this is not that reason. Now if I take this as a reason, yes, it can satisfy this red color line, since this area comes below this, but this line, that is 2x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 600. So this reason is above this, so it is not satisfying these conditions. So this and this is not satisfying. So we have to select the reason which will satisfy both the constraints. So if I select the reason this as my feasible reason, now we'll cross verify it again. Now whatever the reason I have selected is this one. Okay, now this reason will come below this line. Here we have less than, means the reason is below this, yes, it is satisfying it. And this line, one more line we have. So this reason is coming below this, equal to this or below this. So whatever the reason I have selected, it is satisfying this condition and even this condition also. So this is my feasible reason. So after this, you note down the coordinates of that feasible reason. So this is the origin. I'll call this as A, this as B, and this as C, and this as D. Okay, I'll separately write down the coordinates of A, B, C, and D. So A is the origin, so x1 comma x2 is 0 comma 0, and B coordinate, so x1 is 0 on this, so B is 0, and the x2 value is 450. Similarly, the C coordinates is this one. So C coordinate, you see what is the value of x1 here and what is the value of x2 over here. So by the graph I come to know that the x1 value is 150 and x2 value is 300. The D coordinates is this one. So D coordinate, the value of x1 is 300 and the value of x2 is 0. So this is 300 comma 0. So these are the coordinates of feasible reason. So now the last step is we have to substitute these values onto the objective function. My Z-max equation is 3x1 plus 4x2. So I'll substitute the values of A coordinates in this equation. So the values of A here is 0 comma 0. This is nothing but x1 comma x2 only. So here 0 plus 4 into 0 is, you will get it 0 as an answer. Now ZB, if I find out 3x1 is 0 plus 4 into 450, I'll get some answer here. Next, ZC is equal to 3 into 150 plus 4 into 300. I'll get some answer here. And ZD is equal to 3 into 300 plus 4 into 0. So I'll get some answer. So after calculating, I'll get these as answers. So we have to select the values which is highest here. Why I'm selecting highest is our objective function is maximize. So among this, which is the highest value? This is 1800 is a maximum value. So my Z max is equal to 1800. To achieve this 1800, what is the x1 value I have taken? That is x1 I have taken as a 0. And how much x2 I have taken? It is x2 is equal to 450. So this ends your problem.